redesigning audio for brands or visuals, like this one on the screen.
I started by playing this really simple chord progression, which sounds like this. And then I replaced it with this sound, which you can find on my kits, on my Vital sound design kit. And for the drums, I wanted to add something really simple. So I did this right here, and I knew I was going to add Fruity Love Filter on top, so I just kept it really simple. Okay, so for this sound, essentially it is following the same chord progression, and the sounds are just different. So one thing about my production, when it comes to like making beats or sound designing or anything, I like to experiment and really manipulate things, just make it sound like different, and to make it sound as if I'm using a whole different melody, chord progression, anything. So this is what it sounds like. And again, I did use Vital for this. You can type in something like this, Vital sound designing manipulation, and you can find like so many good tutorials. I think I might make a tutorial in the future about how to manipulate sounds on Vital. Not in this video, but in a different video. And then layering that sound I just showed you guys, I have this playing, this little arp, which sounds like this. Okay, in the second half of the beat, there's a different pad. There's two different pads used, and I don't think it follows the same chord progression kind of, but I just changed the notes. But this is what it sounds like. And again, it is made on Vital. I'm just realizing back then when I made this, because I made this last year, 2025, I used Vital a lot to learn how to sound design before I put my money into a high-end plugin such as Serum, which I use now. I still use both, but I feel like Vital is extremely good for beginners, and it's free. You can either buy presets for cheap, or you can make them yourself or download them, anything. But I'm just showing you guys the matrix and the advance. I'm pretty sure I downloaded this pad and then I just tweaked it a bit because I don't even know how to use the matrix. Well, I do kind of, but there's no effects, not really anything on the advance. Yeah, I just use Vital for most of my stuff. And then for this pad, it says expand. I did use expand for this project, but I changed the sounds to Vital, which is funny. And expand was my first ever synth, which I bought, like my first plugin I bought for FL Studio. So I wanted, okay, let's wait for that to calm down. I wanted it to have like a kind of cold air effect, because if you look at the music video or the video, the ad, it's kind of like it to me, I get a sense of like cold vibes, winter vibes. yeah. But I'm unmuting my expand here, my expands, and this is what I had before. So for the background textures, I have screen static sparks. I don't know what this is, some sort of noise, and fireplace textures. And when I add textures to my stuff, I just make sure that it's subtle and you can kind of hear it. And again, to find these kind of textures, you can just type in like anything you want really online. So I just typed in wind chime textures and I'm seeing splice. So you can go on splice, epidemic sounds, Pixabay, which is actually quite good. YouTube, any one of these weird websites which look like a virus. If you can hear the wind, I'm sorry, but this is like another good example of Foley, the wind. Like you can just record wind in your room. Well, I think the drums play all throughout. I would need to check, but very simple. Back then, so back in last year when I made this, my drum kit wasn't that good either, but the drums are they work. They work for this kind of beat which I'm making. And then expand, which is actually vital. Layered with this sound. Then this sound, which is actually in my kit, it's very quiet. Very quiet. This is what I would consider a texture as well, but I made it on vital. Then the main melody. I think beats like this are really easy to make because when you're given when you do a creative brief for yourself or something, you kind of give yourself freedom to do whatever. So that's what I did for this one. Like I chose a brand which I really liked at the moment, mainly looked at the video and listened to their sound, and I said to myself, what would I change? What would I add? What would I do differently? And I think I did a good job. I don't think their video is on YouTube. I think they took it down, but I have it saved. But that's the end of this video. And guys, my email is in my description if you want to send loops. Make sure you send it to my loop email or else you will get blocked. And follow me on Instagram.